Good morning, everyone. You are welcome to a series of capacity strengthening by scale. And today we are featuring a special feature on artificial intelligence and organizational strengthening opportunities, unleashing the power of AI growth and developments. I welcome all of you to this program or this particular special feature. And I am at this point inviting the Deputy Chief of Party for Scale, Osede Etopa. So please open this special feature by opening remark and declaring the webinar opened. Bosse, please, can you please help us on that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank God. On behalf of Scale, the Chief of Party, Lydia Ode, and all of us here, I want to welcome you warmly to this webinar. I also want to wish all of you a very warm compliment of the season. We are happy that you have taken time to be part of this important webinar. You will all agree that the issue of artificial intelligence has become a very critical development issue that is really shaping the future. It's shaping the way we work. In fact, I just went to my Microsoft Edge and I saw an icon there. And as I clicked it, it says artificial intelligence. So that means that it's something that we are all going to be living with. So that's why this webinar is a very good effort to help all of us to stay abreast and to keep us informed about how artificial intelligence will benefit the work we do and the way we work. Thank you very much. We wish you a very warm and productive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Lady B. We always want to tell you that we don't take it for granted the kind of technical support you have been giving to us in the Scale project and how you have encouraged us. Thank you again for being part of this. Who is this kind of person we are bringing on board about Palm Mans? Who is this kind of person? What kind of skill does he present? How relevant is this topic in relation to usage by him? I want to invite my colleague, Abigail, to please present the profile of Albert Palm.
The facilitator for today's event by the name of Albert Palm, who is the former chief of party of the USAID Creative Associates flagship intervention for countering violence, extremism, and mitigating conflicts in Northeast Nigeria. Mr. Palm is a machine learning enthusiast and is increasingly fascinated by the potential of artificial intelligence in transforming ordinary situations and creating positive opportunities never imagined. In the past 25 years, Mr. Palm has been gathering requisite skills, desired experiences, and cognate exposure within the development sector, covering current and emerging issues in security and conflict management, human livelihood, poverty interactions, and sustainable development. Mr. Palm served as program development manager on the highly acclaimed USAID OTI funded Northeast Regional Initiative Program. That's a NERI program implemented by Creative Associates International. He grew to become the regional program manager and deputy chief of party on the Nigeria Lake Chad Basin, that's NLCB Transition and Stabilization Program, and serve with dedication and passion. Mr. Palm recently completed a project where he served as the chief of party, leading the USAID flagship intervention for countering violence, extremism, and mitigating other conflicts in Northeast Nigeria, building community resilience against infiltrations and conflicts in Borno, and Adamawa, and Yobe states. So it's my honor to welcome to the virtual session Mr. Albert Palm to proceed with his presentation.
Thank you so much, Abigail, for that. Scale people, you are very wonderful, so very generous with introductions, and I never knew that that would be the process. I would have asked for an exemption, but thanks a lot, Deputy Chief of Party. But said I'm very very grateful. I'm honored to be part of this series again of these webinars. And of course, anytime that you invite me, I'm always available. And whatever opportunities that present itself to share experiences, there is no knowledge that is new. So, and that is the basis for the AI technology and how I mean, it's expanding and taking over everything that we are currently doing. So, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity. And yes, Bosede, you addressed me as doctor. Not yet, not yet. I don't want to break my head like thank God I've done permanent head damage. I don't want to do that yet.
Maybe you
But yes, what are we talking about today? Basically, looking at artificial intelligence and what opportunities it presents to us for organizational strengthening. I mean, Bosede started on the very right note by putting us in the frame of mind that yes, artificial intelligence is taking over many of the mundane and routine tasks that we are doing. But not only that, machines right now have been taught how to think, how to recognize patterns, how to recognize frequencies, and then they are taught how to think and take action. So I think with that premise, I would want to quickly move on to the next slide, where we would look at some of the things that concerns the tasks that we do, the kind of activities that we run. Right. So I was talking about basically how organizations, non-profit agencies, and even other for-profit agencies can actually take advantage of this artificial intelligence. It's an evolution basically that is taking place, but evolution in machines, machine work, machine thinking, machine learning, and also machines thinking and taking actions than ordinarily human beings would be expected to perform such levels of intelligence or such levels of sophistication in the task that they are basically handling. So we would be looking, I mean, in the very brief slides, we'll be looking at how AI is enhancing decision making in organizations and how do that happen. You're talking about efficient decision making. Some of you are captains, CEOs, top-notch executive directors within the sector that you work or within the organization that you work, and you find out that you need to make decisions at certain times, but not just decisions that are subjected to things that you feel or things that you think. Objective decisions should be made, or I mean, expectations are that objective decisions should be made, and then the odds are very, very close at each other. Machines are assist, and they are basically doing all of that and much more in the sectors where we're working and other sectors where we can learn from. Efficiencies, of course, through automation. There are some tasks that are routine, they are mundane tasks that you do them basically every day. Every day you do that, and it takes a whole lot of time for your staff. Even you yourself as executive director, it takes a whole lot of time for you to sit down and say that you are doing such tasks. Machines are being taught how to efficiently run through those tasks without, in fact, the minimum error margin. I mean, I can remember sometimes I review letters, only letters to our donors or funders, or invitation letters. I review 3 or 4 times in the past. And then the staff would be frustrated sometimes when you notice some simple errors and mistakes like that. Machines can do that in seconds, matter of seconds, and with the highest level of accuracy that you can always count on at any point in time. What about improved program evaluation? Of course, when you're talking about the activities that you are running or the ones that you've run before, machines are taught basically how to basically improve the final evaluations of your program. Through the implementation of the program, you can even improve the emerging issues once you feed them the right algorithms. Of course, in terms of fundraising strategies for organizations that depend on individual donors, or they depend on persons or agencies or systems like the United Nations and all of that, recognizing trends in funding, recognizes trends in spending from the donors. Machines are taught to be able to recognize trends, frequencies, and can even predict where donors are moving with their resources. As an agency, as a civil society organization in Nigeria, as a development organization, you want to know some of these things and you want to know how to predict some of these trends. Machines are taught how to do that. And of course, it will be a great advantage if you know where your donors are interested in spending their resources. Of course, you can develop proposals and the opportunities are imminent. I mean, they're immense and imaginable in that area. What about enhanced communication? Strategic resources allocation, impactful humanitarian aid, where machines are joining. You're combining human intelligence and also artificial intelligence to begin to map areas of flooding, map areas of the highlands and lowlands using satellite systems, using geographic positioning system. I mean, you can do a lot within that sector in planning and delivering humanitarian aid simply by working or programming your machine and algorithm, and it brings out this information for you. Next slide. Great. So that is just to give us an overview of what opportunities lies that machines can do. We'll go deeper into that in the next slide. But we need to lay the basics first, and also lay the basics properly. When we are talking about artificial intelligence, what does that mean? Of course, it is right there in your on your screen. You can see it. But simply put, it's when you program machines or you allow machine perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. When you have machines that are performing this task with so much precision, and they are even able to predict. We are talking about artificial intelligence there, because these are skills, or these are techniques that ordinarily you expect that it's just a human being that can give that kind of output. And so these machines mimic cognitive functions such as learning. Yeah, so you hear about machine learning. These are capabilities that computers are doing or machines are doing right now. They learn from past mistakes. They learn from issues. They learn from troubles that they encounter, or curves that they encounter in their algorithms, because that's how they are programmed to do. And they even solve those problems. They can even mimic perception, and they understand language. You can say one or two or three sentences in one language, and it will interpret you within seconds. It interprets to you in hundreds of languages, at least 252 now. Languages. A machine have been able to translate over 252 languages right now, and they are still learning and growing. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, there are basic components that makes up this artificial intelligence. And these components, basically, if you look at the human system, you can require. You can just translate it into systems. There are different systems that must come together to mimic cognitive functions like human beings display. And when you talk of machine learning, it's one of the components. Natural language processing, also one of the languages, or one of the components of artificial intelligence. Computer visioning, also another component of artificial intelligence. And then neural networks, then expert systems, and then robotics. These are just to set the background. And this is the only slide you will hear jargons like this that are typically within the IT segment. I promise you, this is the only slide you will hear. You will hear that. In other slides, I try to break it as simple as possible, that I assume a program officer in your office, an M&E officer in your office, sitting in your office, listening to this webinar, should be able to pick up these slides and work with it, and also get something positive or something good that will benefit your organization. What do we mean by machine learning when we say the machines are learning, or the machines are emerging or evolving? They are a component, basically one of the huge components of artificial intelligence, and this is the ability for the machine to recognize patterns and frequencies. The machine is once a program is able to mimic patterns, or it recognizes patterns, it recognizes frequencies. that means it has a capability, or that capability can be expanded upon. And anything that can be expanded upon, you can imagine what you feed in, what you feed it to do, what pattern do you feed it to recognize, what frequencies do you feed it to recognize, and anything is possible there. So that is one component that is associated with artificial intelligence. Natural language processing, simply put, means that the machine has been taught how to process languages like English, like Spanish, like even Pidgin English, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Idoma, all the languages that, as long as that machine or that component can be able to process language and texts, it can translate into text, it can translate into even voice, that's audio, that system can be programmed. And once that system can be programmed, like I said, put it into artificial intelligence, it recognizes language, it can present information in graphical form, it can present information in languages that you can understand and read. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the ability to mimic human perception or human language understanding. What about computer vision? Simply means that component or that machine is able to see. Computer vision is able to recognize facial properties. It can act like an eye. It can recognize facial properties and be able to hold it and in its memory. And when it comes back, or when you can recall it back when it recognizes that same face again. So, and this is the backbone for some technologies like I mean, so some wonderful AI capabilities that have to do with surveillance, fraud detection, and all other things that involves facial recognition. You go to the airport, the border control people, the immigration people, they say, look into the camera and all of that. There is a big computer network there that basically feeds on this information and can share it and can translate it. Now, it has the capability to recognize, to mimic human functions, and this is to perceive, to even understand, and to even record and think for itself as, oh, this must be Albert in Germany. So, and if another Albert is presenting himself in another place, it will definitely flag it off and say, no, there's an error somewhere. This is another component that is embedded in artificial intelligence. And how does this come put together to work for us? Definitely, we will see that in coming slides. The one I want to touch here, of course, robotics. Yeah, expert systems has to do with a system or a simple system that has been programmed to be able to perform certain expert functions. And mostly you find this in the medical line. Yes, you find this mostly in the medical line, where a particular machine is programmed to operate in the heart, or to operate on the eye, or to operate on the brain, or some basic skin stitches and all of that. These are expert systems. Outside that system, it cannot work. So again, this is a component of how artificial system comes together. This all put together gives you what you call artificial intelligence, whereby machines are mimicking cognitive functions that an intelligence or expertise that only humans are expected to also mimic that. Let's go to the next slide. And again, like I said, I'm promising that that will be the only slide that you will hear jargons like machine learning and all those robotics and deep nerve systems and the rest of them. Okay, so what can nonprofits gain from artificial intelligence? Yes, in the opening statement, I basically mentioned some of the things from the high level, high points there, but we'll go deeper into that much easier now, so that we can see very clearly how we can what we can take from this system, what we can take, what advantages that these possess for us, what inherent positives, what inherent things it can do, what can it save us from, and how can it also aid us to be more effective in the kinds of work that we are doing. Please let's move to the next slide. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So why artificial intelligence for NGOs and CSOs and other agencies? I spoke about decision making earlier, and basically AI is such a massive body of knowledge that whatever data you are looking for, it has billions and billions and trillions of data sets that it has been gathering over the years and is traversing over the years, and people have been pulling all those data. Some are interested in information, and some of them are interested in patterns. Some are also interested in frequencies of how things are happening or events are happening, and all of that. AI has the capacity to help with data-driven decision making. If you want to make decisions that are sharp, they're very difficult to make, but they are very sharp decisions that you need to make based on the data that you have generated, based on the data that you've generated around such decision making, or around such areas and components that should help you in making those, all the components that come together to help you achieve that decision. Once you gather the right data and you input it into an AI system, ladies and gentlemen, it will project to you the best course of action, depending on the query and prompt that you ask it to analyze for you. It can do advanced analysis beyond what algorithms we human beings can even think. So numbers that runs into trillions and trillions and whatever digits you have beyond that, they are able to make even to the minutest digit to help with decision making. So and I would see. I mean, we would see in the coming slides some examples of how organizations are taking advantage of AI in Nigeria, and making decisions that are helping and advancing humanitarian work, advancing advocacy, and advancing all other sorts of engagement that they are doing, whether it's rapid response interventions and the rest of them. What about resource optimization? Of course, when you're talking about efficiency in resource allocation and resource mobilization, we always within the NGO sector operate within the limits of the resources that we get from the donors, and so it is always not enough. But even if it is not, I mean, it is always not enough. How we even taking the right decision when applying those resources? So when applying those resources, there are also algorithms that can be used with a greater level of efficiency and resource optimization when you're talking about deploying AI in our organizations. Yes, program impact. Everybody is talking about program impact, even at the needs assessment. Even at the needs assessment level, AI can be deployed. A lot of us heard about the Kobo tool. You know about all of those, Kobo Collect and the rest of them. Basically, these are other platforms that operate. They collect data. You think that when they collect those data are lost and are lost forever? No, they are pooled together in, of course, over the data management policy, based on the data management policy of the country. They are pooled together and fed into this massive information machine that continues to store them until somebody recognizes other advanced needs for them. So needless to say that program impact assessment can, based on the analysis that you get from the data that you want to, the data set that you want to analyze, it gives you high levels of engagement at that level. Of course, in terms of donor engagement, AI also enables NGOs to personalize donor interaction, whether it is with individual donors, as in persons that are regular givers that donate resources for the kind of work that you do, or they are institutions, as institutional funding from agencies, from international development agencies. AIs are able to help and assist with all of these interactions and relationship management based on the information and the behaviors and preferences that those donors have. Of course, we talked about resource planning and allocation as NGOs. This has been a challenge that has before. I mean, that will always remain with NGOs. But in terms of really planning and allocating those resources, there are also levels of precision that, depending on the focus of our organizations, we can have that very, very improved. Of course, the same thing for program efficiency when we're talking about impact assessment. There are lots of automation that should be happening in some of your organizations, but because we don't know, some of that are taking so much time for us. So much time that is taking, and it's lost. But we take that is the same flow. It's the same flow. But things are emerging, and of course, the opportunities also are also emerging and moving with the trends. We also need to move with that trend. Next slide. Okay. Now, there are some of our activities that are community centric. Yes, they are basically community focused. And of course, people have different, diverse kinds of ways of thinking within the communities, whether it is customary, whether it is traditional, whether they are religious, whether they are social. All of these issues can actually be handled once you are running an assessment in the communities, or you want to run an intervention in the communities. You can use AI for analysis. You can use AI for data analysis on some of these community issues that you generate at your needs assessment. And it will prioritize them for you, basically with your own skill as well, but it will prioritize with the higher or the highest level of precision. Capacity building and innovation. There are so many online platforms that we have right now. So many online platforms that we have right now for free courses. They are not human beings that are providing those courses. Ladies and gentlemen, they are not people that are sitting behind those courses. No. Once you sign up for a course, and it's a free course and it is an online course, and they are basically free, they tell you that, oh, you can run this in a matter of hours, and the rest of the, these are AIs that have been pre-programmed with algorithms to fashion and give you the kind of trainings that you want. Some even customize those trainings and capacity building opportunities. And of course, imagine that you have a full set of onboarding slides that you play for your newly recruited staff. Once that is running, they can run that for 2 days or 3 days while your staff are basically doing other very productive work in the fields or in the front lines or in the communities. Those are things that you can deploy almost immediately once you have that your organizational slides that you want, your newly hired or even volunteers or interns in your organizations. You want to put them through some pre-trainings and the rest of them. You can put that, and I mean, AI can generate that for you. It can generate the modules for you. It can generate everything that they need to know, even give them assignments. And then you focus with your other staff, focus in doing other very productive things in the field. And when these ones are ready, they can now join. Okay, spoken about this already. Let's move to the next slides, Abby, if you don't mind. Communication and outreach. Of course, sometimes to respond to emails, you find that there are 106 emails in your mailbox in the morning, and you need to respond to all of these emails. Ladies and gentlemen, time have passed that you sit down and be responding to those emails one after the other yourself. There are some that are important. There are some that are social. There are some AI can assist to filter all of these emails for you. And not only filter those emails, you can program that to even respond to those emails while you are doing other things. AI can respond to your emails, and it can serve as your assistant at any point in time. Of course, you can optimize humanitarian aid in terms of emergency situations. Of course, you want to distribute, and the terrain is not very good. Okay, you can run analysis on both the terrain. You can run analysis on where your beneficiaries are. And of course, in that way, you are optimizing effort, optimizing your distribution reach, especially for those that are dearly in need of those support or those life-saving support that you need to deliver to them. So you can deliver it more efficiently. You can deliver your services more efficiently. You are saving life. You are also saving resources. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yes, of course. Some people might ask why what are these on the chart? These are data visualization charts that use multiple layers of data. Gone are the days where you have one line running from the bottom to the top, and then it shows you frequencies and peaks. AI, because of the levels that they are information and data sets that they have to consult before giving you feedback, before responding to some of your queries or prompts, before answering some of your questions, before designing some beautiful things for you, they have the capability to run over billions and billions and billions of data sets that have been imputed. And they recognize patterns and respond also to your specific need. Again, it's a function of algorithm. Like I said, all those things behind those things are for the IT specialists to basically sit down and look at how those patterns are evolved. But once you're able to either make inputs in that pattern, which is what we're looking for, once you're able to make and then trust the source of those patterns, and that's what is popularizing AI right now, ladies and gentlemen, the opportunities are endless, and you can change the power of efficiency in your organizations from possibly a 10 to a 70 within no time, and you will thank Scale for that. So these are examples of data visualization charts that probably you only find in some of those AI machines or AI platforms that are currently being popularized in the last few couple of years, basically. So you find some new reports coming out with this kind of data visualization, and people are wondering what is happening. Reports are coming increasingly; they are moving beyond just simple data to complex data, and some of them are also machine learning data set that it consults. Okay, Abby, let's move to the next slide. Getting closer to the exciting stuff now. Okay, of course, we've talked about this. I highlighted a little about this before. In terms of impact assessment and program evaluation, these are things that AI can do for us. We can read it later when we get to the house, or when the slides get to us. Of course, specific donor engagement and fundraising optimization, AI can help with that. Not only talking about chat bots, there are chat robots that basically once you put them there, they are language processing experts that can give you that you can interact with some of these chatbots as if you are interacting with a human being. Whatever information you want, whatever kinds of data, I mean, whatever information that you want about that particular organization or about that particular donor, you go ahead and chat with the chatbot. The chatbot will give you everything that you need, even in terms of their forecasting, where their funding opportunity, I mean, where their funding for the next 3 to 5 years would be focusing on. And if you get that kind of information, definitely you know how to begin to prepare your concept notes. You begin to prepare your proposals, and you begin to see the kind of organizations you want to begin to talk to, so that they will get increasingly familiar with you and the things that you are doing. Yes, of course, in terms of routine administrative tasks such as data entry, document processing, scheduling, and the rest of the burden on NGOs have completely been taken off or reduced. And like I said earlier, you get enough time to have more strategic and impactful discussions around the impact and the spread of your work, the scope of the work that you do, and the rest of them. Next slide. Of course, like I said, also the application in needs analysis, community needs analysis from the beginning, from the very beginning of your intervention, from the very beginning of the work that you do, community needs assessment, and then you go down the cycle of the program cycle or the project cycle. You do that, you find out that because of the way that machines have been, advanced or evolved in the last few years. Some of these can basically run natural language processing and interpret any kind of data, whether qualitative or whether quantitative, and basically give you information in either charts or in basic text that you want. So in your community needs analysis, it can help and it will really help improvement. And I implore as many as have the opportunity to please continue to develop interest in this area and see how that happens. Humanitarian aid distribution optimization. I made an example of this, and I've shared enough on this. I mean, machines can interpret satellite data and even tell you where best to set up your camp, your IDP camp. Can give you that proposal. If you have that challenge, you can download a satellite interpreting a data set. It interprets that set and gives you that location, the GPS location of that the global positioning system of that area, and then this is where the incident has happened. It will give, in fact, do analysis and give you the best way, well, that's the best point to situate your camp or collection center so that you keep people safe and out of harm's way in case of emergency and other situation. It will even help with logistics, risk assessment, even fraud. Okay. Predictive resource planning, we've talked about this. Allocation of resources, it helps. It even predicts the future depending on the information that you feeds it in, and helping strengthening your internal systems and also some of your external engagement with some of your external stakeholders. Next. Okay. I've talked about donors. I've talked about communication with stakeholders. I mean, things as simple as queries. A donor is asking, is querying you about, you basically feed it into the AI. It generates a response for you. Okay. It gathers feedback. Of course, gives you very transparent and responsive communication with communities, donors, and even your partners that you are working with. Okay. It customizes interventions and also service delivery. Basically, once you give it information, the more information you feed it, the more customized and the more specific it can get. There is nothing that is out of its range. Of course, there are concerns, some concerns about data protection issues. Yes, some of the biases around data protection issues about what do you call it now, about privacy and all of that. But with more years, those algorithms have been fine-tuned, and then it continues to give you customized service delivery. Risk mitigation, yes, this is a very, very big one for NGOs. Risk assessment and mitigation. You can know the health status of your project even before you start it. You can know the health status of your project even before you start it with just applying AI analysis. It can tell you that the objectives will be achieved and the timeline of your project is reasonable or it is not reasonable. The target is reasonable or it's not reasonable, and all of that. Even the budget, it can tell you whether it's reasonable or it is ambitious. Okay. And of course, it will offer you mitigation. Opportunities or options where you can make sure that the little amount of time and resources that you have is properly applied, and also the benefit is gotten. Yes, I begin to round up. The next slide. Of course, I've spoken about this earlier and even cited an example of some of those online platforms that we attend workshops, we attend trainings and all of that. Exposure trainings like this one that we are having right now can just be programmed, and an AI will just take you through all the process and even mark you to score you whether you passed or you didn't pass, and then whether you are qualified to be given a certificate or not qualified to be given a certificate based on a cutoff mark that you must attain during that course. And ordinarily, you think that it's a human being that is supposed to do that. Yes, but I mean, that human being that has programmed that is busy doing other things elsewhere, and this one is serving you here. So that's it. Yes, next slide. AI adoption in Nigeria for program quality. So in the next, I think 1 or 2 slides, we should be running up. But in the next slide, I think I want to quickly share a few examples of organizations that and how they are adopting AI for the kind of work that they are doing. So first is the Red Cross Society of Nigeria. They're using AI to collect and analyze data from social media and other news sources, basically to improve their humanitarian response effort. So if you want to have the biggest data of all humanitarian efforts, whether humanitarian situations across the country, Nigeria today, the go-to organization that you will want to quote, or you want to cite, or you want to consult their website is Red Cross Society of Nigeria, and they will give you all of those, or at least all of those that are reported, whether on social media or on other formal news networks. So once they publish data on their website, once they publish information on their website, you can trust that is really happening, except if there's a host somewhere. But you can trust that that is really happening, and the locations that are also affected. So you can plan your response, or you can write your proposals with the right kind of information that is also applicable to the right kind of situation. The Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Center, they call them WRAP. They're using AI to track gender data. So with the establishment of the gender desk in the Nigerian Police Force, and also in other offices, Federal Character Commission and all of those kinds of things, they are basically tracking information, or they're tracking issues around gender inequality. And of course, they use the information for policy advocacy and also to promote gender equality. Who says that your organization cannot do that? So you can see how they're applying some of these data to assist or help in situations similar to the one that you are also working around. What about ANI? That's the African Network on Environmental Economists, and also ERA, the Environmental Rights Action. I grew up knowing this organization very, very well because of their environmental focus. They use satellite imagery, this time around, not for humanitarian work, or not for humanitarian mapping of a disaster area, but also to identify, track, and monitor deforestation and pollution. So information that is generated basically is used to do advocacy, and also for a better friendly environmental practice. Codes. I think the young man, there's a gentleman here, I think Hamzat, yes, Hamzat Lawal. I remember his name now. Code. They are into this public expenditure analysis and visualization and all of that. Clean. I remember. Okay, yes, the barrister gentleman, the sun guy, and then I also remember uh, Gad, Gad, Gad Shamaki. Yeah, I think is the executive director. Lawal is the this thing for code. They basically use AI to analyze public expenditure. Our budgets in Nigeria, both the annual budgets, even the state budget, whatsoever it is, they gather all of this data, and they use, in fact, some very fantastic visualization like the ones I showed earlier. When you go to their website, you see all of. I always love going for their presentations. They present all of this information in a very, very data-friendly format, information-friendly format that you can easily diffuse that information. What do? They use AI to identify and track areas of wasteful spending and corruption in Nigeria. Of course, the information is used to advocate for more transparent and accountable government spendings and all of those kind of things. You remember the Yacht thing, the Yacht thing, the renovation of the president's, all of these contentious issues. They find a way of bringing it to life with data visualization, and all of this is artificial intelligence driven. And of course, the second Niger breach, right? The one of the Buhari's legacy that they are talking about. I think Clean Foundation have been doing a great work in also following public expenditure on these fiscal projects, but they also have their eye on the judiciary. Even though now we are all clamoring, it's going crazy, but they are tracking trends in the judicial performance, and also, of course, they are advocating for reforms to the Nigerian judiciary in such a environment with all the data that they have gotten. Next slide. So these are basically applications of how AI is being deployed in Nigeria by some of. There are so many of them. Basically, there are so many of them that are moving into that area now. But I think with this sensitization by Scale, and also by Scale and USAID. I am very hopeful that so many of you would be inspired to also move into this area and tapping into some of these capabilities and beautiful things that AI can present for us. And that's why I put on this second to the last slide around how can we build AI capabilities among NGOs in Nigeria. One of them is this session that we are having, expository sessions. Just sensitize people on some of the advantages that this is the future. Okay, in the last slide we'll talk about the future trend, but building capabilities for AI adoption or uptake in Nigeria, especially among NGOs. One, we have to establish AI training programs for NGOs, and this is for Scale. Funders like USAID, other international partners, Palladium, and the rest of them. Once this is the way to go. This is the next level. This is the next level. So it's just to find a way of presenting it into a continuous improvement plan, and of course, so organizations can learn about the basics of AI, how to identify and evaluate those AI tools and technologies, and how to develop and deploy these solutions also in the organizations and all of that. So we need to establish programs like this and fund them deliberately to increase the uptake and also the adaptation of AI solutions in among NGOs, and how that can continue to aid the work that they are doing. Of course, creating a library of AI resources for NGOs is also a way where case studies, papers, tutorials like this one can also go there. People can just go there. I mean, there are so many things around the online fundraising, proposal development, and all of that. We can put everything there, and all of this data all of these resources can be accessed by NGOs in Nigeria. We make them in very accessible format. There are things that are very important. You want to pick them online. There are passwords to them. You need to pay a little token so that you have access to them and all of that. Whence organizations like or programs and initiatives like Scale, USAID, Palladium, and others can actually create this AI database resources center, and it can be online, and people can actually take advantage of that. And then, of course, develop and deploy AI power solutions specifically tailored to the needs of the organizations. And there are so many of them now. We'll see examples in the next and the concluding slide of this presentation. Of course, collaboration and partnership, continuous partnership amongst organizations like the NGOs that are here and this and then other organizations also, whether for profit organizations, especially IT organizations. There are so many things happening there, and things are evolving, and you'd be amazed at what advantages we can take once we begin to build partnership, build collaborations, even across sectors. There are things that we can also learn. Next slide. Thank you very much. Okay. Fine. I'm happy that you will receive the slide of the presentation, and you will take a closer look at some of these tools. These are all AI tools, and they have specific things that they do. Remember when we talked about the components, and we're talking about machine learning, we're talking about those that recognize natural language processing, we're talking about all those robots and robotics. Basically, these I titled this this is a cheat sheet. This is a cheat sheet where you have all the AIs that are available as at now. Some of them are free. Some of them are, you need to pay some certain amount of money to be able to download them. But most of them here that I have projected are free, and you can get them anytime. You can download them anytime on your computer, and you start enjoying them. You start working with them immediately without any trouble. The first column up the top left corner, that is called LLM, large language model. That LLM simply stands for large language model, and what it simply means is that AI that can manipulate text, AI that can understand language, AIs that are you can do almost everything that has to do with your text with them. You can write letters, you can write proposals, you can develop concept notes, you can develop in seconds. I'm talking about seconds. I'm not talking about in 3 days or in 1 week. No, in a matter of 30 seconds, you can develop a concept note. Just give it the topic and prompt it adequately. It will give you exactly what you want. It can write letters for you. It can mimic you and even respond to your emails for you. And as long whatever you allow it to do, and you program it or you prompt it to do. So the interesting is that this is not the age of programming. This is just the age of prompting. You just prompt it adequately and tell it what you want to do, and it will tell you. I mean, it will bring out the response for you in a matter of seconds. For example, you want to write a letter. Chat GPT. There is a Chat GPT 3.5, which is free of charge. You can download it even right now on your phone or any of your devices that is connected to the internet. There is also Cloud. It's also an AI. It deals with text messages. It deals with research work. It deals with everything that you want to do, from writing letters, from responding to emails, from doing social media posts, and all of that. There's also Bing Chat. Bing Chat has just been developed also. There's Google Bard. Google Bard is very, very bad. If you allow me use a Nigerian parlance, Google Bard is very, very bad. And so it makes a lot of I mean it make yeah, you can it's even connected to the internet real time. Yeah, Chat GPT, I was talking about Chat GPT 3.5 is free, but there's a 4.0 that you have to pay a token and you get into the premium package. But even at the 3.5, it gives you good information up to 2021. Its memory has everything that you can think of up to 2021. So anything 2022, 2023, I would want to cross-check it with bad. So the good thing is you can get information from one AI and transmit it into another AI, and then it comes back more refined for you. And then, of course, I'm taking time on this because this is what will concern many of us as NGOs. You want to do a concept note very quickly. You want to develop objectives. You want to develop activities. You want to do everything, and you don't have that all the time. Quickly get to any of these large language model, whether ChatGPT, Cloud, Bing, or Google Bard. It will help you a great deal. We don't do a lot of images, but if you if you work with a lot of images in your organization, you have the Midjourney, you have the DALL-E Z3, you have the Leonardo, you also have Firefly, sorry. And if you do a lot of videos, you have them there. Of course, you've got Rinway, Pictory. So I was talking about what AIs that are available free of charge, and that's the basic platform is available free of charge. If you want for presentations, you have them there. It can design presentation for you. I mean, just give it the information and feed it into it. It generates the presentation for you. You only just need to edit, and then you go ahead and start your presentation. There are AIs for research. You want to run research, you want to do an analysis, you want to do comparison of research works, just feed it into this AI, and then it brings out everything that you require. So this is like a cheat sheet. Once you have this, please feel free, go down to the AI, download it, mostly free. ChatGPT, I will always ask people to go quickly to ChatGPT or go to Google Bard or even the Bing Chat, any one of them, and then you start enjoying some of these opportunities and privileges that you can only think about them. Next slide. Future trends. What are the future trends right now in terms of if we take back our conversation to what we started with when Bosse was encouraging us about how AI is taking a lot of opportunities to the next level. So increasingly, we hear a lot of demand for AI systems that are transparent, and their decision-making processes are explainable or understandable by the layman. Because the suspicions had always been in the background. Who is working at the background? Who is working at the background? What are they feeding it? So the idea now, or the thinking now, is that look, future trends for AI is not a matter of whether it will or it will not. It is the function that when is it happening, and it is already happening. and that the only thing that people are demanding is explainable AI. And explainable AI simply means those systems or decision-making processes, those algorithms are increasingly more understandable by people. They trust what they can do, but at the end of the day, the human eye will always be important in shaping what kind of output you get from it. And that's why they call the GIGO, garbage in and garbage out. If you feed it garbage, you get nonsense. If you feed it good information, you get very wonderful information back, and with dimensions that only you can imagine. So AI in capacity building, this is something that is already happening, and people are taking it to the next level to into even virtual capacity building experiences by AIs. So you can sit in a virtual class and AI is still the one teaching you and running those activities. And you can see other classmates and all of that, but you are in a virtual environment. So AI in capacity building is something that will continue to happen and continue to modify in the future. What about your grants and grants management? When I was working with creative, they have something they call the SMART, the system for managing and administering and reporting grant timelines. SMART. So everything that you do from the concept of the activity down to the last budget to even emails and pictures, you upload them into SMART. SMART is able to write the story of that activity from the beginning up till the end. That's a grant management system. It has its own glitches. We have made feedbacks into it, but they are improving it and it is happening. What about in finance? What about in procurement? All the processes that you have, it's still helping to continue to make decisions in those areas. AI for predictive analytics and also early warning systems. AIs have been used to predict rain, to predict drought, to predict extreme weather conditions, to even predict storms and floodings and the rest of them. And I don't think that we have reached the time that we say that, oh, we are self-sufficient now and AI will not be will not be needed to help with some of these early warning opportunities. What about in cybersecurity for NGOs? AI can be deployed to help NGOs continue to protect NGOs, to make the best of the resources that they have, but also to keep them safe in operations, whether online or offline. Of course, AI-driven automation, administrative processes, augmented analytics. We have enabled chatbots and virtual assistants that you can ask virtually every question that you can, and it has an answer for you. It's as if you are chatting with a human being. You can see the craze right now. Almost every bank in Nigeria now has developed a chat box. They have names for them. Amina, they have Susan, they have Alexa, they have Siri, and all of those wonderful chat. These are AI-driven technologies that are taking over every area that we are working now. What about AI-enhanced collaboration and knowledge sharing? Of course, AI in recruitment and talent pooling, scheduling, and even deployment of volunteers. You find that you can start the process of recruitment from the beginning till the very end. It is completely AI driven. Okay. So the parting note is that these trends collectively indicate transformative landscape for the AI in the NGO sector, offering opportunities for increased efficiency, better decision making, and enhanced impact. Thank you very much. I would like to stop here. And then, like I said, I try to make this very simple, digestible to a program officer in your organization that they can pick up. And this is not something that we can finish in a day. It's a huge package and a huge sector that I just started developing interest in this sector less than two years now. And a lot has happened and a lot is happening. Every day is like many things are changing, many things solutions are coming out, and these things are being improved on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and all of that. So instead of us get left behind, I thought that it was important that we could share this information for those that to be inspired enough to take the journey and continue to, as they continue to get support from USAID and also Scale. Don't forget, you can invite me to your organization through Okosun, Dr. TG, and I can come and we can do some practical sessions together and play around some of these things that we've been talking about. They are very simple to engage, and catch your IT guys. They will help you a great deal. Thank you so much. I hand over to Abigail, and I really appreciate this opportunity. God bless.
All right, thank you
Over.
so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Palm. Thank you for that presentation. I'll be calling in I'm not sure. Dr. TG, I think this would be back to you for the next
Yes,
session.
you're supposed to be back to me, Abigail.
Yes,
This
yes,
is
back
a
to you,
wow.
please.
This is a
Thank
wow.
you.
This is a wow. Oh, and I can feel the pulse of participants already. So much discussions are happening in the chat box, and I can imagine the huge opportunity that these are presented. Thank you, Albert Palm. We can't thank you enough. At this point, I hand over to my colleague, John Edets, the program manager on national capacity strengthening for Palladium Scale. It will pick up from here on questions and interactions and question and interaction. John, over to you, please.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. TG. Thank you, Mr. Albert Palm, for that presentation. Then to the participant, for the past 50 minutes or 1 hour or thereabout, we have listened to the unerudite presentation by Albert Palm and on how machine has been taught on how to think, recognize patterns and frequency, and act like human. So it is time for us to elicit responses, comments, input, observation, questions from you. But before we do that, if you have participated in the past webinar organized by Scale, please feel free to go to the chat box, drop in the chat box how you apply the knowledge that you've gained on any of those seminars that webinar you've attended. Please do that now. Then before I ask you to, I give you a chance to ask your question, please let me also ask mine too, because this topic is of greater interest to me too. Mr. Palm, during your presentation, you did briefly mention things on data protection. So I want to know the legality and regulation of AI deployment in Nigeria in terms of data protection and security. That is one. And also, lastly, you mentioned the practical section that you want to be invited to. And I wanted to ask question on the practical, the platform, the algorithm by which we can deploy immediately for procurement and resource optimization. Those are the few one I have. Then the floor is now open for all participants to ask their questions. And for you to ask your question, please, you raise your hand or use the emoji. Then I will inform Abigail to unmute you to ask your question. Yes. Oneze Mata.
So while she's at that, can I go ahead and respond to one of your questions very quickly?
Definitely, sir.
All right. So in terms of data protection, I think Nigeria had recently passed that into law in the country. So we have basically right now a very strong. Or imagine not strong, not yet strong, and an emerging data protection agency that will start very soon. Will start. Okay, yeah, very soon they should start. Chasing and clamping down on defaulters, even NGOs like us that are dealing with personal data that are very, very important or unique to human beings. So with that passed into law, you find out that most of the organizations, like I said, so many banks right now have developed their chat boxes. Some forex people have also developed their chat boxes. Some big companies have developed their chat boxes also, and you can see also. I mean, there's a headline today on the Punch, I think, that even the Nigerian government is training a workforce on AI. So there's in terms of implementation or breaches in the country, all those provisions under the data protection law are covering any user or anybody that intends to deploy AI in Nigeria. It is not illegal. It is not illegal, except you use it for illegal things, and people can use it for illegal things basically. But it's easy to track with the cybersecurity consciousness, and also with the campaigns, and also with the kind of sophistication that these things are moving on. It's just a function of algorithm, and then these are done. Quickly, the second question in terms of what do you have for procurement immediately? There are also AIs that are into organizational productivity, marketing, and all of that. If you look at the chart there, you will see there's one that is into organizational productivity. You go there, it's a package. I mean, if it's procurement that you want to go, put in your procurement law, for example. It will identify your policy on procurement. It will identify loopholes. It can even fix the loopholes for you, and then tell you how efficient that procurement. In fact, ask it to even critique it and tell you areas where that's where I enjoy working with the AIs, the different the different applications or the different platforms. I will get information from one, and then I'll put it in another and ask that one to critique it, and it will critique it to the basic to the last minute decision making. And when you want to just make a decision which one is better or which one is best for you, or what steps to take regarding that issue, you have sorted it out, and you have all the perspectives that you can think of from both your own human perspective and the machine learning perspective. So you are asking it to critically examine itself, and it will give you more honest and more responsive answer. So there are algorithms for all of these things, and I hope that we'll have time to be able to. This is just like a taste of the iceberg, just a taste. Look, there are opportunities here, and let us take advantage of it. Thank you. Over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abbott.
Okay.
All right.
John, if you could give me a minute, let me just maybe read out some of the comments we have in the chat, and then we continue with the questions. Just to mention that I've already given microphone access to Martha. So once I'm done with this, Martha, you can unmute and ask your question. So we have a comment from Grace. Grace says we provide, or she would want to have the slide. Please just note this is to mention generally that the slides will be sent out to all the participants. So moving on, we have some Gimba Goyo says, I also think people should get into free training packages from Google on AI, and he dropped a link where you can access that. So prompt engineering is the way to go. If you're interested in the training packages, free training packages, please check out the link. It's cloudskillsboost.google, I think. So just check out the link, and I'm sure it will take you directly to the packages. He also says ChatGPT Plus as a paid version and Bing Chat, a free version, is essentially the same thing, while the E3 is their image creator, all within either ChatGPT Plus or Microsoft Image Creator. Okay, so maybe we have some other experts in the house giving us very useful information. Thank you so much, Gimba Goyo. He also says you guys did not mention Grok AI, the one found in Twitter, in your cheat sheet. This is such a timely presentation. Really loved every slide, and thanks in advance for sharing the slides. Thank you so much, Gimba. That's very, very informative. Someone says, Sarah says, thank you for the training. I was afraid of the high level of cybercrime and felt it would lead to risk for organizations. Mr. Palm, I think this is something that you might also maybe want to talk about at some point. Ambassador Rubo Endurance says, thank you so much for the presentation. I've applied the previous knowledge of webinars by doing a step-down training to other members of my team, which has helped us as an organization. We have from Kubura Mustafa saying, I attended skill training on report writing and the experience has been fully adopted. And even the implementation aspect has helped our organization in so many ways. So I therefore want to use this medium to thank Skill. We thank you too for being here. How do we regularly access these apps to get AIs to utilize? And this is coming from triple or double L, I think. So Mr. Palm, I think this is a question for you. It says, how do we regularly access these apps to get the AIs to utilize? I'm guessing you just have to
Okay.
type them up on Google. Google is your friend. If you can put in, he's already given you the cheat sheets. So
That's
if you
right.
can put it on Google, I'm sure maybe he can throw more light on that afterwards. And then Ambassador comes back again and says, thank you so much for the presentation. I've applied the previous webinars to train members of my team. That's then as another question is about the recording. It will be made available, and we have another. Okay, there's another person dropping the same link, cloudskillsboost.google. So please just look at the chat box for the link for the free training packages. Ishako dropped a link also, procure.ai helps with procurement processes in organizations, and Cievo.com website has more information on that. Thank you for that useful information. Yes, I think that's about it. John, over to you.
All right, Abigail, thank you. I think we will allow Mr. Palm to respond to one question that you've read out. Then we'll hand over to Martha to ask a question.
Yes, thank you very much, team. And I think that question has to do with the rate of cybercrime and how that how is AI going to be exposing putting us at risk, or putting organizations like yours at greater risk. I don't think so. The reality is very, very simple, that this is the way to go. Like Gimba said, prompt engineering is the way to go. So we can't, for fear of while several algorithms have been developed to counter cybercrime. It's just like saying that okay, because there's a possibility of criminals or armed robbers on the way, you will not travel for Christmas from wherever you are, if you are not in your village and you want to go to your village. So the probability is very, very high that several organizations right now as we speak are developing anti-cybercrime mechanisms and also algorithms that they can identify some of these hackers, or some of these dangerous elements that are using the website. The web, just like how we are also using it for positive things. So it depends on the package that you are involved in. You can transfer the risk when you pay and you get good packages that have the right kind of protection, high level of sensitivity and protection, and you also play your own part. I think organizations will be very, very safe, and you can utilize and take advantages of this for transformative change in your operations, in your quality of programming, in your reporting, and also in your professionalism. I want to thank also, some of the resource persons also. Yeah, some of the participants here that basically have very advanced knowledge of some of these systems as well. So I would encourage that this could be like a kickoff, and let there be inter-organizations sharing also, so that we can continue to carry each other along. The possibilities, like I love to say, is unimaginable, and that is the way to go. So we just have to brace ourselves, otherwise we become extinct. Uh, Okay, sorry. No, I was just rounding up by saying that the opportunities are unimaginable. They are very, very practical. Today, right now, you can. I mean, responding to the last gentleman. Today, you want to start working with MI. It's. I mean, AI. It's very, very possible. It's instant, and you begin to see changes even in your communication, in your responding to your emails, in your presentations, even in your organizational you deploy that instantly and you get the result. And as long as you remain online, just like Abigail said, I mean, take a look at the cheat sheet and pick up one or two and try them instantly. You will begin to see changes, and you begin to build your capacity on that. And I subscribe fully to the site that was shared. Let's go to Google AI and see how that plays out as well. You'll get a lot of introduction to this, and also get yourself well equipped to start prompting. Thank you. Over.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we can go straight to Martha now. And Martha, before you speak, ask your question. I will encourage those who have participated in the past scale webinar, please, to go to the chat box and drop how you utilize the knowledge you gain during such webinar in your organizational development. Please use the chat box to do this. All right. Abigail, can you unmute Gimba Goyo to ask his question? Gimba Goyo.
Yes, I've given Gimba access.
All right, Gimba, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, clearly, yes.
Yeah, Pam, long time.
A very long
My
one,
question is
Gimba.
actually, yeah, my question is actually in the Q&A tab, but I'll ask it anyway. I have two questions. The first question is, thank you for the presentation, by the way, Pam, very timely. But isn't it a bit scary, based on your presentation now, that AI seems to take over almost every component of activities of the development and the humanitarian sector? Does that not mean that we may start losing jobs to AI? That's my first question to you. My second question is a point you made in your presentation about AI library for Nigeria. I don't know, does it exist right now, or is it something you are intending to build in the future? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Pam, please, you can. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
very quickly. Thank you so much, Gimba. Many days. Yeah. Thanks a lot, and I'm happy you are in this conversation. The second question, very quickly. That was one of my recommendations. It's a suggestion, actually, to the House, us here, and also to donors like USAID, and also organizations like Palladium, and even programs like the Scale program. It's something that they can expand upon, and it could be the next level after this kind of exposure training or exposure sessions. When you want to ask what's the next step for uptake of AI solutions in Nigeria, I think that was a suggestion. There's none that exists that I know of as of today. Let me say that very clearly. There's no platform like that exists as of today. My thoughts are just very wild. I said this is a suggestion for the next level. We could expand on that. We could throw a debate around that, and then see what that happens. The first question, which is the most interesting for me, jobs. And that is one of the biases against AI technology or AI uptake, that it will take on jobs. I don't think that machines in right now could replace human beings. No, they are only designed to mimic human beings with limitations. They are only mimic. I mean, they are designed. The algorithms can never be perfect as a human brain. That is one of the most advanced technology, if you allow me to put it that way, or advanced intelligence that has never been defined. The human brain. Till today, scientists and neuroscientists, neurologists, and they are still studying, and they don't even know how it functions. They don't even know how it sustains itself, how it regenerates itself, how it functions, how it's taught. They don't even know it till today. So I don't think AIs are there here to replace human beings. No, they are here to help humans take off those mundane tasks, all those tasks that takes our time and take our resources, and we spend loads and loads of days and hours and thinking that we're doing great things. They assist us to make decisions. They help and make us more efficient instead of looking at it from the prism that they are here to. I mean, tasks like data entry and data management. You see a whole agency upstairs, 17-story building. What are they doing? They are called National Broadcasting, National Broadcasting Commission. I mean, statistics or something. And you have thousands of staff there. All they are doing is data entry and data processing. Meanwhile, you can have AI that can do that with ease, and those people can now be deployed to do other very sophisticated tasks that has to do with empathy, with perception, with understanding, with transformation, and also with leadership, and also nurturing within the society. Email responses and effective communication. Some people, just because of one mistake in a whole email, have made donors to scatter table and shake head and even threaten to take off some of those grants because of some simple human error. But these are things that this machine can do it with 99.999% accuracy based on the algorithm. Document classification and sorting, putting all those documents together and sorting them for easy retrieval and all of that. There are people that is their job. And these people can do beautifully in other areas of work, but they are mandated to sit down in one spot and be picking this document from here, scheduling and putting in calendar. Personal secretaries. These people can also be deployed to do strategic work, expense reporting, for example, social media posting and monitoring. Survey data analysis. It will take 6 months to publish a survey data analysis, something that you can do in just a matter of 1 or 2 weeks, like that. Routine reporting. You want to report to donor, and you're taking 3 days, 4 days, 5 days to do that, and the staff is so overwhelmed because there are so many things to do, so many activities to run. You just run the basics in the AI, and it will just write the report for you. Run the achievements, it will run the report for you. Put in the objectives there, it will run all of these reports for you with minimal time, with minimal errors, and then you have your donor happy. You also are very, very happy. What about volunteer onboarding? I talked about it. You have a senior staff. You even want the country director to come and sit down because you want to volunteer. I mean, you want to do induction for volunteers that will work for 2 or 3 days and then they are gone. So these are our interns. There are strategic things that the country director can come and sit down, or the executive director can come and sit down and discuss, and let's take a chat with the interns and the volunteers and the new staff, but not to spend the whole day there. These are things that all of these chat boxes and all of these AIs can basically help us and take off time. And you see the ED sitting down making strategic decisions or helping and sorting these things. The data is presented in a graphical format, in a chart, a beautiful chart, and then you can use it for advocacy and other things that are very highly productive and also very, very central to the kind of work that we do. Thank you so much. Over.
Thank you, Mr. Palm. That is very extensive.
Hi, John.
All right, Dr. TG.
Hi, John.
Yes, Abigail.
Is it possible to take all the questions at once, and then we can have Mr. Palm respond to questions instead of taking them one after the other? I think we'll save more time that way.
Yeah, that is good. But let's listen to Dr. TG. Maybe he also has something to say at this point before we go forward. Yes,
All right,
TG.
that's fine.
Yes, no, I agree with Abigail. I think we just have them collated, and then after responding, if we still have time, we will take another batch. All of those that have their hand up, that will be fine. But my question is around, I see on your the slide that has to do with cheat sheets. Is it possible for us or any other person within this place to send link of each of these boxes: marketing, LLM text, chat box, video? Can we have each of those linkages? Is it possible to put the link on this chat, on our chat message right now, so that we have link to all of them as a way of capacity strengthening, so people can reach those chat box, even if it's paid or not paid? Let people have link to them. That's a question. I wanted us to see whether it's possible.
Okay.
I know this is a very short term, but I'm already thinking a lot of things, and I'll be talking about next step later. But is it possible, even if it's not Albert who has a link to any of these cheat sheets, if Abigail can project it as they are talking, and anybody that have a link to any of these ones beyond these other ones, let them put them on the chat box for people to elicit. Thank you. Over to you, John. Thank you.
All right. We will take 2 more questions before you respond. I think that's general to everybody here. Somebody has already dropped 1 link, so we can have more links being dropped on the chat box. Then, all right, Ogbe Evelyn.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the very practical tidbits on how to make our work easier as development practitioners. So I have sort of comments, and there are also concerns. The issues of plagiarism is also important to the work that we do. The integrity of the content we put out there is important. So if we're relying so much on AI, does it still have some integrity concerns? Then the second issue is that we are in a quick fix generation, particularly the Gen Z generation. And if there's so much reliance on AI, what would happen to optimization of human capacity in terms of brain work? Would there be more reliance on AI than critical thinking? I don't know. How does this transcend to the future?
All right.
Thank you. These are my comments.
Thank you, Evelyn. That is noted. Let's have 1 more question from Jennifer Ibe.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so my question is, I'll first of all thank you, Mr. Albert, for a beautiful presentation. So my question is, you mentioned AI apps that can be used for design, report writing, and presentation of work. So can you mention some of those apps and maybe elaborate more on how it can be used? Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Please, over to you, Mr. Palm.
Can I read some of the questions in the question and answer segments, and then you can check them at once?
Can you respond to the 3 questions asked, then you now read out those ones?
All right,
How
that's
do you?
fine.
Yeah. Mr. Palm, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Evelyn, the issue of plagiarism and integrity concerns. Yes. So it's so powerful that AI is so powerful that in terms of plagiarism, there are also AI spaces that actually clean your documents. There's a Quillbot. There's Quillbot, and Quillbot basically what it does is it is into.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm responding to Evelyn's questions, 2 questions, one on plagiarism and then the other one on critical thinking. So I was saying there's an AI called Quillbot that is into paraphrasing, into checking plagiarism, and also into editing of reports. It paraphrases reports. It makes it for different kind of readings, whether it is formal, you want to present the same paragraph in a formal form, in a formal tone, or in a simple tone, or in an informal tone, or whatever tone that you want. The same information can be translated into different tone that you want, and it's just the algorithm just tweaks some of those words and to make it more formal and official, to make it more professional, or to make it just like you're chatting with your friend, and the rest of them. Now, what does that also do? There's also a space there that you can check for plagiarism. So people will send information to you, they will send data, or they will send concept notes and programs for you, and before you know it, I mean, they're not acknowledging the sources, they are not citing the sources where they've gotten this information. AI is able to check for plagiarism, and quickly either you want to disqualify or highlight all those points that were inserted or were included that were plagiarized from other sources, and is even able to cite all of those sources, and you can nip plagiarism at the board. So it still does not replace the issue. I mean, like I responded to Gimba the other time, AI is just supposed to help make our life little bit easier, so that we save time to do other important and strategic things. There are people that would abuse it, there are people that will use it for good. If you're among the people that will use it for good, and that you are watching out for those that might be using it for bad, you'll be doing yourself good and also your organization good. But if you expose yourself too much without the right kind of guidance, like I said, this is just an exposure. This is not an exposure. It will take us weeks to go over AI's emergence and trends and all of that. It will take us weeks to go through that if we want to deal with it. But this is just a high level exposure to the kind of opportunities that we have therein. The opportunities far outweighs the negatives that we are looking at. AI can never replace the critical thinking capacity of human beings. It can only relieve us of burdening ourselves with those mundane tasks and mundane works that will take us a whole day. Somebody will sit down in the office and spend the whole 2 days writing a concept note, where you can easily go and you pay for those 2 days. As an organization, you pay for those 2 days. You must pay for it because the person is physically in your office. He's not anywhere else. But the output, what is the output? So what are we saying? Humans are able to increase their output, increase their efficiency, increase quick and immediate decision making with facts and figures, once you are able to take advantage of the opportunities that AI presents itself. Not that it is coming to replace critical thinking. Even in the balance of medicine, where AI is being used right now to do operations, very serious operations, many people opt for the fact that they want machines to run operations on them while they are being observed by human beings, rather than the human beings make operation on them. Because why? The machines have been programmed with the right algorithm that it has been able to run 99% of operations, the same kind of operations, without any error. But the humans have made two, three, four. So the best doctor can make the best kind of incisions and finish up and then make a simple error. But the machine will never make that. So some people are actually opting for machines right now to actually run critical and complex operations on their own bodies as systems, not even on reports or on data, to run because of the high level of let me not say trust, but high level of security they feel that the machine would not make an error that a human error can actually cause and be deadly. So in terms of critical thinking, there is no way. In terms of inducing laziness, except the person is naturally lazy or just feels lazy. Otherwise, if you are able to finish a task that you're supposed to do in 2 days and you finish it in one day, you have time to do other tasks that are also progressive the next day. And all of that. So I don't think that is too far or complex to, and you can catch it in the board. That's the beauty, the beauty about it. So anybody that presents any information now, no wonder some people that stumble upon AI and then they're able to write proposals and do all of those. They bounce it back and they'll be wondering what happened. Is it that the proposal was not good? No, the proposal is very, very good. But the problem is you attributed the knowledge to yourself, And the fact is that there's no knowledge there that is new. So you picked it from somewhere. You also need to make acknowledgement and cite those sources. So once you do your proposal appropriately, when you do your concept appropriately, and then you put in the sources that you have consulted, it gives you very, very good level of integrity. Makes you perceived as a very, very responsible and person, someone that is pro development and not a cheat or a thief that wants to claim other people's intellectual property. So that is a serious crime, and it's a serious area that many cyber. In fact, even organizations right now, civil society organizations and donors, they deploy AI to scan through some of those are cover letters, some of those are our proposals, some of those are our concept. And once they find out that you are not appropriately citing some of these sources, despite the fact that the information is there, you are not taking advantage of it the right way. So the right thing to do is to actually go ahead and you can cite those sources. It saves you time, it saves you energy, and then you can also go ahead and write what you need to do concerning whatever you're downloading or whatever you are this. And so many others right now would even give you some form of pre-tests. You have to sign in with certain credentials before you have access to some of those documentation. So there are steps. They are learning. The machines, like I said, the machine learning, they are learning. Even the machines themselves are also learning and self-diagnosing. I told you how I used to counteract my own feeds. If I prompt the machine on Google Bard, for example, and I get a response, I change it. I change the prompt. If it is not giving me what I want, I move or I want to counteract it. I take it to ChatGPT, for example, or Cloud, and then I also put the same query there, or I put the response that I get there, and then it refines it. It refines the response, and then probably I get what I want, and then I move to do what I need to do.
Thank you,
Next
Mr.
steps.
Pham.
So it's very, very clear.
As we begin to wrap up this, the suggestion by Dr. TG on the active link to some of these AI platform have been dropped on the chat box. So if you go to our chat box now, you see about 3 or 4 links has been dropped there. You can pick some of those links directly from there. And also, I want to encourage those who have participated on our Scale webinar series to drop the learnings, how they utilize the knowledge they gain during such webinar in developing the organization. So drop that there with your name, perhaps with your location and your organization. Thank you. This is the last set of the question. I will hand over to Abigail to read from the chat box the questions, maybe 3 or 4 questions that have been dropped there. Thank you, Abigail.
Okay, so before I go to the questions, let me catch up on the chats. So there's Quills.ai, great for generating all AI content, and that's from Jibrin Obaji. Oluwole says, thank you, Albert, for this elaborate presentation. Financial management software such as Sun, SUN, QuickBooks, etc. are missing from the cheat sheet. Do these applications belong here? Steven says, how can NGOs collaborate and share knowledge about the use of AI in their work? Gibran drops another link, haywire.ai. Also something else that we might want to look into. And Gimba says, besides all that, it's still garbage in, garbage out because it responds to your prompting, which really is all about critical thinking. I agree with this. Even though AI is helping to make your work easier, I still have a role to play to make sure that your work is tailored and it contains exactly the message that you want it to contain. Jibrin says AI tools are endless. I guess those are a few ones mentioned on the slide. And on the Q&A portal, we have 3 questions. The first comes from Gimba. I think He must have mentioned that what he just presented is very generic and takes up all the space in the development and humanitarian activities. Does it not seem that AI may be taking up some job, especially around data management and communication? I think he's asked that already. Then we also have another one from him. Do you have an existing AI library at the moment? And then from Mata says, with the involvement of the AI, what advantages does this pose to actual human intelligence? I think that has also been asked as part of what Evelyn mentioned. But we still had some other questions from the chat. So over to you, Mr. Palm.
Thank you very much. I think practically all those questions have been responded to. We discussed that. I mean, when Gimba's question was that's the one about AI taking up human roles and responsibilities. That's not true. I was very clear on that. I think the biggest dilemma with AI has to do with the issue that has to do with the issue of perception, how humans basically are perceiving machines taking up or mimicking them. It is it places you as a wonder. We are the architects of all of this. We are the architects of artificial intelligence, and we said artificial intelligence is when a machine mimics human cognitive abilities, language abilities, problem solving abilities. I mean, machines have been taught how to play games now. Uh, but I mean, do you think that in some years there are some robot boxing and robot things by the side? But I don't think that you go to World Cup and then we'll say, okay, we're going for World Cup. One day will come that we're going for World Cup, and then it is all machines that we put in there to say this is Team Nigeria, this is Team Argentina. Let the robots play, or let the artificial intelligence play the game and representing Nigeria. Human will always remain human. Human capabilities and critical thinking will always remain foremost and foremost behind or driving all of these advancements or technology uptake. And then not only that, the critical question has to do with traditional acceptance. How do we begin to allow machines begin to influence our culture and our tradition? I think once we get there, that would be the critical questions to begin to ask when machines begin to replace our traditional cultures, beliefs, and values to a large extent. But for the purpose of this conversation, for the purpose of this meeting today, is just to my I mean the feeling is I'm quite excited and in fact overwhelmed by the level of engagement here, to the extent that I mean, we're already going beyond, far and beyond even where things stand currently in Nigeria. So it's a beautiful thing. There are advantages there. There are also, for every good thing that comes, there are also disadvantages. It's left for us to find out how much more can we take advantage of this technology for our own benefit and the benefit of the communities that we serve, for the purpose of the work that we do, and then also linking, like I said, partnership also is very important. When I was talking about collaboration and partner across sectors, so that we know and understand what is happening, we don't get left behind. We're not saying that everybody must uptake AI in their organization. No. You can decide based on your value and your organizational. You don't want to even double into that place. But there are people that are adventurous. There are organizations that look, they can take on the future. They can focus on some of these challenges and work together with the process and the system. I mean, these are technologies that officially became commercial or became a civilian not long ago, in terms of their evolution or timeline involvement, and where we are today.
Mr. Palm, okay, thank you. I think we can move from here to Dr. TG on next step before the final thought from Mr. Palm, perhaps when his network is restored. Dr. TG, over to you.
Yes, thank you, John. I want to earnestly say that this is great in terms of a special feature, and particularly with the world of technology and how we want to drive technology for the purpose of system strengthening. And for me, this I am looking forward to a lot of the so what in terms of how you are taking action using them. And just looking at the charts and how people are responding to this learning, it tells me that we are moving to the next phase. We will not end up like this on this. It looks like there are a lot of learning. Number one is that while Pam was speaking on some of the examples, there were some of the partners he mentioned that are partners. And we're also aware of some of the partners that he may not have mentioned here that are already engaging with AI in many of their sector or department, for lack of a better language. For example, finance, procurement, grants, proposal writing, report writing, storage, and all that. I mean, report writing and generating comprehensive information from their cloud system. So I see that as a big one. So the next one is that in the first special feature webinar we're going to have for Scale is going to involve practical section on how this learning are being used. We are focusing on CSOs. The other group like entertainment or issue of our graphic, they can take their own. But we want to bring those people who have utilized this to the room to talk to how they have been using it and to demonstrate practical examples. So I also want Gimba Goyo, Helen Adedoku, Jubrin Ogbaji. So please send me personal emails. It looks like you have some kind of knowledge that might benefit a session that we are thinking of. So that is how we want to go. And then maybe with that one, we'll be able to get another level of what we want to do. We also see opportunity for a possible enlarged learning events on technology and CSOs. Technology and CSOs. We are thinking around that, even now that I just listened to this, to be able to see how we deploy technology generally, including artificial intelligence. And we will have some practical CSO persons to come and tell us how we can begin to leverage on the globalization process, taking advantage of CSOs and the wider values. For me, those are great next steps I am looking forward to. Also note that webinar is one great feature that we use in the Scale project to reach out to large population. And why do we do this? We believe that those that listen will do some kind of research and do also some kind of internalization. When you are not internalizing them, it does not really meet the objective which we set to achieve. If you internalize them and you do not communicate them to us, we do not know that you are taking action using them. And so we want to encourage you to please internalize all our learnings that we provide by this webinar. Communicate with us using the emails that you have at your disposal, telling us every minute thing that you have done. We might just reach out to you. Some persons benefited from physical training recently because they participated for more than 5 times on our webinar, and they reached out to us on what they were doing with them. And so that is the way this is done. And so that we encourage us to know that most of the things that we are doing are context related and they are priority to system strengthening in Nigeria. So at this level, I want to thank everyone, particularly Albert Pam. I don't know whether he has come back. If you have come back, before I say the vote of thanks, can you please finalize, just conclude. You said it very clearly that you are AI enthusiast and you love the machine. You want to say one or two things before I conclude this vote of thanks?
Dr. TG.
Yeah.
Please,
Well,
I think our chief of party is here.
Oh, he has come in. I know that
Yes,
she was
yes.
not on board since. Has she finally
Yes.
come in? Wonderful.
Yes,
She has come in. We're privileged to have her finally join. She'll be very busy. Please, our chief of party, Barrister Leader, please can you give us vote of thanks now that you are back into the platform? Okay. So I want to thank everyone.
I think we lost him as well. His network was.
Yeah. I want to thank Albert and also to thank the Deputy Chief of Party for staying on to the end, and also to thank everyone, Abigail, John, Edith, that have made this very, very smooth. I also want to assure you that we will send this recording and the slide to everyone that have participated in this webinar. We are looking forward to having you in our first webinar. It will be practical demonstration on CSOs and AI utilization. We will bring in practical level skill persons to discuss this, including Albert will be there. It's going to be a panel discussion. Thank you again. Over and out.